Ready for 10? All right. So, good afternoon, everyone. So, here's your module 2, namely Visual Basic Branching. So, I hope na-download nyo na rin to since in-upload ko na to kanina. And then, in-advise ko rin kayo na magkaroon ng advanced reading para magkaroon kayo ng initial idea kung ano ba yung pag-uusapan natin ngayon. Okay, so mostly pag-uusapan natin is about message box and then input box. Okay? And then, of course, hindi mawawala yung if statement dito sa branching. Okay? So first, meron tayong branching or visual basic branching. In other words, branching statements are used to cause certain actions within a program if a certain condition is met.
Can you get my earphones?
Meaning, kapag meron kang condition, it has an equivalent statement.
I'll teach
Wait
you.
lang ah. Ayan. So, minute ko muna kayo lahat para hindi ma-disturb yung mga iba nating kaklase. Okay, so unmute nyo na lang kapag meron kayong queries or may mga clarification kayo. Okay, so when we say branching statement, it will cause a certain action. So when we say certain action, we have a certain condition with that one. Okay, certain condition, it has a certain action. Another condition, another action. Another condition, another action. Okay, so nakadepende yan sa kung ano yung condition na ilalagay mo and then kung ano din yung action na gagawin mo. So kahit 5 yan or 10 or kahit isa lang or dalawa. So depende sa program niya. Okay? So we have here the very first syntax of your branching. So of course, we only have two options for now. Okay? Meron tayong yes and then no or true or false. Okay? So pwedeng ganun yung meaning. So ito yung condition. So I think makaka-relate naman kayo dito. So let's say yung condition is if you're above 18 or 18 and above, then you can enter to the club. But if you're not 18, say 18 and below, or below 18 rather, then you will not be able to enter to the club. Okay? So, ganun lang yung condition. Pag 18 ka na and above, then you may enter. If you're not 18 and above, or you're 18 below, then you will not be able to enter the club. Okay? Simple as that. Okay? So, we have here the syntax that you're going to use for your programming or branching programming. Okay, so we have if, and then the conditional statement, and then, and then the statement that it will execute if this condition is true. So take note, saka lang to ma-execute itong buong to kapag true yung statement. Okay? Kapag hindi tumama dito, or if it's false, then it will not do anything. Okay? So for now, ito lang muna. Saka lang to ma-execute kapag true. Kapag false, wala siyang gagawin. Okay? Alright, so we have the examples here. So here's the sample condition. If balance is less than 0, then message box less than 0. So if this is true, then it will display less than 0 to our message box. Simple as that. If the balance is greater than 0, then it will not do anything. Okay, since wala naman tayong program na may gagawin siya kapag false yung statement or kapag yung balance is greater than 0. Okay? Next example is, if a minus b is greater than 10, then c is equal to math, that's QRT, or square root, a squared plus b squared. Again, if this is true, then that's the time that this statement will be executed. Okay? But if this is false, then nothing will happen. Another one is if text box 1.text is equal to the word invalid, as it is invalid, then text box 1.focus. So focus is a method wherein ito kung nakita niyo tong cursor ko ngayon, mapupunta lang siya, or ito, itong blinking na to ngayon, mapupunta lang siya mismo dun sa text box 1. Okay? But if, let's say this is false, wherein valid yung laman ng text box, of course, wala mangyayari since hindi naman natin program na ay may gagawin siya kapag false yung condition. Okay? So para ma-appreciate nyo to, meron tayong actual example. We have here the sample problem number 1. So it says here, write a VB program that allows the user to input an integer. So if the value is greater than or equal to 0, display the message positive using a message box. Okay? So dito muna tayo. So meron na tayo mismo ng interface. As you can see right here, we have 3 components, a label, a text box, and then a button. So ginawa niya dito is prinogram niya yung button. So double click that one and then bibigyan ka niya ng blankong private sub button. Okay? And then it says here, so we have to verify, okay, the value of this text box if it's greater than or equal to 0. So if it's greater than or equal to 0, then we should display positive using a message box. So ang ginawa niya, nag-declare muna siya ng variable num as integer. So this will only accept whole number. And then where are we getting the value of this num, variable num? It will be coming from text box 1, that text, okay, which is this one. So whatever is the input or inputted value to the text box 1 will go to the variable num. Okay? So once na meron ng value itong num natin, then that's the time that we can verify whether this one is greater than or equal to 0. So again, if this is true, then that's the only time that this statement will be executed. Okay? So i-display niya lang sa message box positive. Okay? And then as it is. So for you to appreciate this one, mas maganda siguro kung gagawin natin to mismo sa Visual Studio. So, walang gamitin ko, sample problems para sa kaninang umaga to. Okay, tanggalin ko lang to para fresh from the start tayo. Ayan. So, I have a blank form and then a blank coding area. Okay? So, what I need to do is put a label, put a text box. So, kapag may question kayo, so feel free to interrupt me anytime. And then, put a button. So, yan ang kailangan natin. And then, highlight ko lang lahat yan. And then, format ko lang yung size para mas kita nyo into 25. There you go. We now have a bigger font size of those components. So, let me just change that one into input value. Okay. So, this button will be named as test, pero papalitan ko siya into verify. Try natin. Verify if it's positive. There you go. Okay. So, yun na yun. And then, double click this button since this is what we need to program. And then, let's declare a variable, num. So, num na rin yung gagamitin ko para hindi magulo dito. So, ano yung nandito, yun na yung gagawin ko. Dim num as integer. And then, you'll get the value of value num, or variable num, rather, from our text box 1. Okay? And then, we can now verify whether the num is greater than or equal to 0. So if this is true, then message box, close and open parenthesis, double quotation, word positive. There you go. So we only need 3 lines of codes. Okay? So konting-konti lang. Alright, so ginaya ko rin kanina, so na-explain ko na rin. So let's try this one. Okay, so wait lang. Medyo mabagal na yung aking laptop. Alright, so input a value here, let's say 3. So this one is positive. So upon clicking this one, it should show us a positive message box or a word message positive. Okay, so positive, tama naman. How about if it's negative 1? So as you can see guys, walang nangyayari. Kasi hindi ko naman program yung program ko na may gagawin siya if it's less than 0. Okay, which is negative already. So saka lang may magpapakita kapag prinogram din natin siya. So paano natin gagawin yon? So, copy ko lang to, of course, and then paste ko lang sa baba. Alright? There you go. And then, palitan lang natin to. Instead of greater than, we'll just make it less than 0. Okay? And then instead of positive, we'll change it to negative. Okay? And then, start nyo lang para matest. So, if it's positive, yeah, positive, it will display positive. One more thing, ito nga pala yung example ng message box. So, instead of showing the result into a text box or a label, so pwede kayong gumamit ng message box. So, ganito yung itsura niya. Okay. So, marami tayong uri ng message box. Malalaman nyo yan soon. And then, how about if it's negative? Say negative 10. So, verify if it's positive. So, of course, negative na yan. Okay. Kasi na-program naman na natin na kapag less than 0, papakita niya is negative. Okay? So, any question or clarification so far? May hindi ba nakasunod? Question, guys? Hello? Hello? Rinig niyo ba ako? Sir, recorded po ba to? Of course, recorded to. Rinig niyo ba ako? Baka kanina pa ako nagsasalita pero hindi niyo ako naririnig.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so any question or clarification? Or masyado bang mabilis? Hello? Hello? Diyan pa ba kayo? Natulog na yata ulit kayo eh.
All good, sir.
Okay. So, I hope sa iba is okay lang din. So, yung mga, I think nahihiya kayo, yung mga hindi sumasagot gamit ang mic, so you can use our chat box to answer. Okay? And please respond as soon as possible para hindi sana sayang oras. Okay? And then as soon as meron kayong question, so feel free to interrupt me. Okay? Alright, so ito lang yun. Dinagdagan ko lang ng negative para sa sample problem number 1. Okay? So next example is write a program that inputs two integer numbers. Thereafter, the program should determine if these two integer numbers are equivalent. So if they are equivalent, use a message box to display the word equivalent. So in here, we're going to compare those two text box. Okay? So meron tayong 1, 2, 3, 5 components. So 2 label, 2 text box, and then 1 button. Okay? So of course, we need to compare those two values. So for us to do that one, we have to program this button. Okay? So just double click that one, and then it will give you this one, this private sub button. Okay? And then we have to declare two variables. Okay? X, Y as integer. And then, saan manggagaling yung value ng x natin? So, it will be coming from text box 1, which is this one. And then, sa y natin will be text box 2 that text. Okay? And then, kapag nakuha na natin yung mga values ng x and y, so that's the time that we can compare those two variables. So, if x is equal to y, then message box equivalent. Okay? And then, kung papansinin nyo, meron tayong another additional format dito. So, ito, meaning lang na ito, it's an information. Okay? Ito, itong logo na to or itong icon na to. So, marami tayong klase ng message box. Merong information, merong question mark, meron ding warning, or meron ding error. So, maraming klase ng icons. And then, kung papansinin nyo, meron ulit another format dito wherein message. So, ang ginawa nito is pinalitan niya lang yung title ng message box natin. So, ito na yung title ng message box. Kasi yung program natin, wala naman ako nilagay na title. By default, ang nakalagay dito is yung pangalan mismo ng program, okay, which is sample problems. So, kung gusto niyong palitan to, pwede naman. You can do it, something like this one. Pero I think nagkakaroon ng error dito. So, ipapakita ko na lang soon. I think nasa slide 40 or slide 50 yun. Okay, tatakal natin yan lahat ng part mamaya ng message box. So, mamaya na lang yun. Medyo advanced pa tong topic na to. So, for now, gawin muna natin tong sample problem number 2. So, burahin ko lang ulit lahat. Yan. Burahin ko lang din. Okay, hindi ko na buburahin to. Palitan ko na lang. So, gamitin na natin to. So, we need two labels and then two text box. Okay, text box 1, text box 2. Input a value, input another value. There you go. And then verify if they're equal. There you go. Okay, so ang program lang natin is yung button. Alright, so let's declare the two variables, or the x and y, as integer. Okay? And then, saan manggagaling yung values ng x and y natin? So, x natin will be text box 1. So, for you to check the name of this one, so go to the properties. Text box 1, text box 2. So, if, ito muna. X is equal to text box 1.text. And y is equal to text box 2.text. Okay? And then, pag meron na tayong mga values ng x and y, then that's time that we can compare those two. So if x is equal to y, then message box, double quotation, papakita natin, equivalent. Okay? So check natin kung working. So input a value 5, 5. So dapat, ang magpapakita is equivalent. There you go. So equivalent naman. So ang problem lang dito sa message box is masyadong maliit. Hindi ko lang kung clear ito sa inyo. Hindi na to pwedeng palakihin. Hindi ganyan na siya kaliit. Okay, so if it's 5 and then 4, then nothing will happen since we didn't program it to verify if they are not equal anymore. Okay, so kung gusto nyo dagdagan ng not equivalent, so napakadali lang yan. Copy lang natin to, palitan lang natin to. Instead of equal sign, lagyan natin not equal. So question, ano ulit yung sign natin for not equal?
Yung dalawang arrow, less than and greater than, sir.
Alright, that's very good, Miss Fatima. So, less than and then greater than. So, ito yung symbol ng not equal sa Visual Basic. So, from equivalent, dapat dito is not equivalent. Okay? So, in that case, pwede nating i-test kahit anong value. Okay? So, equivalent 30 is not equivalent. Okay? Or 0.3. Okay? So, any questions so far? Or clarification? Or baka may gusto kayong itry? So, suggest lang kayo, baka magawa natin kagad-agad.
Sir, pwede po bang igitna yung message box?
Message box.
Opo.
Ito yung message box. Initially, nasa gitna talaga siya.
Sa gitna na po ng screen mismo, hindi sa may form.
Oo. So, kung gusto mong gitna-gitna, yun, i-center mo rin mismo yung form. Naturo ko naman yan sa inyo, di ba? Yung Windows state. Ito. Nasa, hindi pala. Position pala. Start position. So, dapat naka-center screen. So, yan. Para initially, nandito rin sa gitna yung Windows form mo. Then, nasa gitna na rin yung message box.
Ay po, thank you po.
Okay? Or kung masyado kang OC, pwede mo rin igitna to, itong 2 dito mismo para ma-maximize mo. So, para gawin nyo yun, highlight ko lang itong dalawa. So, punta kayo sa properties. And then, hanapin nyo yung position ba yun? Wait lang. right to left, right to left, left. Saan na yung word na left? Ito, text align. So, hanapin nyo lang center. Okay? So, para pag nag-type kayo, ayan, nasa gitna na siya kagad. 5, 3, oops, bakit nagkaroon ng error? X is equal to text box 1, text box 1, oh, bakit naging text box 3 and 4 na to?
Sir, yan yung kahapon ngayon. Kailangan nyo muna i-stop.
Uy, bakit nadagdagan? Text box 3, text box 4. Ah, nakopy ko. Wait lang. Yan na, text box 1 and text box 2. Text align center. Check natin, text box 1, text box 2. Okay. 5, 5, yan, there you go. 5, 3, of course, not equivalent. Okay. So that's it for your sample problem number 2. And then for sample problem number 3, so I will give this one. Okay, kinakabahan ulit kayo. I will give this one as your third quiz. Okay, so don't worry. Ang deadline naman neto is next week pa. So for now, focus on doing the first and second quiz. Okay, so explain ko lang para maintindihan nyo kung anong gagawin nyo dito. So the ABC Manufacturing Company plans to give a year-end bonus to each of its employees. So write a program that will compute the bonus of an employee by considering the following criteria. So we have two criteria. So first one is if the employee's monthly salary is less than 10,000, then the bonus is 25% of salary. And then the second criteria is for employees with salaries greater than or equal to 10,000, the bonus is 2,500. Okay? So na-imagine nyo na ba? So meron tayong one input, two outputs. Okay? So kailangan ko ng isang input at saka dalawang output. So ano yung input na yon? Doon nyo ilalagay yung salary ng employee. And then, ngayon, gagamit na ka ng if statement para i-compare. Okay? Kung greater than or less than 10,000 ba. So, kapag greater than 10,000, dapat fix na 2,500 yung magiging salary bonus niya. Okay? If it's less than 10,000, then you have to compute the bonus by 25%. So, multiply nyo lang yung salary niya. Let's say 9,500 times 0.25. Okay? And then, yun na yung makukuha niyang bonus. Okay? Alright, so yun na yung first output. Ipapakita nyo kung magkano yung salary bonus. And then, yung pangalawang output is yung total na makukuha niya. Yung salary plus yung bonus niya. Okay? So, if that employee has a salary of 10,000, so dapat ang magpapakitang bonus is 2,500 and then yung total salary niya will be 12,500. Okay, so same din dito. But in here, you have to compute the 25% of that one. Okay? So again, one input, two outputs. Okay? So, ganun lang naman kasimple sa sample problem number 3. So, I think na-imagine nyo na, gagamit lang kayo ng greater than, less than, and then ano bang gagawin niya kapag greater than or less than. Okay? So, next one, sample problem number 4. So, write a program that will allow user to input an integer and determine and display if the integer entered is an even number. So, dito, supposedly, ibibigay ko rin to as your quiz. Pero binawasan ko na lang. Okay? So, hindi nyo na to gagawin. Tayo na mismo yung gagawa ngayon. Okay, so gawin natin yung sample problem number 4. So kailangan natin is one input. So burahin ko lang ito lahat. So double click and then num as integer. So, magagaling yung value ng num. Ito coming from text box 1. Okay, so check nyo kung text box 1 ba to. Kasi in some cases, baka text box 4, text box 5. So, dapat parehas yung pangalan. So, after nyan, pwede na kayong compare. So, if num, so para malaman natin kung even number ba to, Okay? So gagamit tayo ng, meron ba kayong idea? Para malaman natin kung even or odd number. May nag-chat. Justina Waisa. None daw. Medyo delay yun ah. Alright, so an idea, paano natin mabe-verify kung even ba or odd number yung ilalagay nating number? If num, so gagamit tayo ng function mod. Okay, bakit mod? Kasi sa mod, ang kinukuha natin is yung remainder. Ngayon, kapag walang remainder, sarado, ibig sabihin even number. Okay? Kapag may remainder, ibig sabihin odd number. Okay? So dapat yung dividend mo is 2. Para kahit anong even number ilagay mo, ang magiging result niyan is 0. Kapag odd number nilagay mo, always kakaroon yan ng remainder na 1. Okay? So yun yung one way para malaman natin kung even number ba yun or odd number. Okay? Sa visual basic. Then, message box, double quotation, even number. So check natin if this one is totally working. So we have, say, 2. So dapat ang magpapakita is even number. There you go. So even number. How about if it's 1? So nothing will happen since may remainder tong 1. Actually. Kapag 5, wala rin mangyayari. Kapag 4, so dapat even number. There you go. So meron. Okay? So kahit 1 million pa yan, kahit gano'n pa kahaba, oops, ayun, nag-exceed na yata ako sa, ayun, overflow na. So in that case, gagamit tayo ng decimal para mas malaki. So yun yung limitation ng integer. So 1 million. Ayan, even number. Okay, so kapag ginawa natin 1 million 1, so of course add na yan, wala na magpapakita. Okay, so any questions so far? So kung gusto nyo ipakita yung odd number, so ganun naman, ganun din lang, copy nyo lang to, paste, and then kapag yung result is 1, then message box, odd number. Any questions so far? So 1 is odd, 1 is even, 3 is odd, 4 is even. Okay. So ito, even to. So 95, odd. Alright, so any questions so far? Or clarification? So none coming from Mr. Gillian. Mr. Gillian or Miss Gillian? Sorry ang hirap talaga pag di ko nakikita yung mukha eh. Kasi syempre pag nakikita ko yung mukha tapos yung pangalan, napafamiliarize ko na. Okay, so Miss pala. Miss Gillian. Okay, dito kasi syempre wala kayong picture. Tapos pangalan lang. Wala pang nakalagay na Miss Gillian or Mr. Gillian. Anyway, so how about the others? Any question or clarifications?
Magwo-work po ba yan sa negative values?
Let's see. Negative. So dapat to add. Hindi. Okay, kasi hindi natin ang integer kasi lalo na yung itong decimal. O ano, dapat pag integer mag-work din siya sa negative. Hindi. I think kailangan mo pang i-modify. So gagawa ulit kayo ng another program, i-verify nyo muna kung positive or negative. And then sa loob nun, kapag na-verify nyo na kung positive or negative, and then ilagay nyo yung another condition. Ito na yan. Okay? If mod 2 is equal to blah blah blah, then even number. Positive, pwede mo ilagay dito, positive even number. Or negative even number.
Oh, okay. Thank you po.
Okay? Alright, so stop ko na to since I think we now only have 30 seconds. So, again, 5 minutes to 7 minutes break tayo. Okay? So, kita-kits na lang ulit.